Okay, now let's do some motion tracking. I would start a new uh, project. Make sure you're in the workspace, motion tracking workspace, right? And then let's file, import file, and we'll bring back in that la.mov again and bring that down. So this time, instead of stabilizing the motion, we'll leave it with the camera movement in there, and we'll replace the type on the sign. We'll make a new sign by tracking our graphics to the footage. Okay? And we'll do a number of examples of this, so you'll kind of really get it by the end. So first of all, let's make a solid layer that we can use to replace to cover this sign that's here, the gap sign. So let's go layer, new, solid. And if you take the eyedropper there, click on the gray part of the sign, we'll get something the same color, okay? And that covers everything up there, right? And it's a little greenish looking, but should be fine. So let's just turn up the eyeball on that layer so it's temporarily hidden. And it will name the solid layer, whatever that color looks like. All right, so let's click on la.move to get back to the right layer. And let us now track motion. So click on track motion, right? Make sure you're at home. And for track type, we want perspective corner pin, okay? And that gives us these guys here, these four guys. So what you want to do is, again, make sure you're dragging between the inner box and the outer box and put each one into position, okay? And don't cross, sometimes people like cross them and make a box that's the other way around. That will not work, like an upside down. Like if I put all these back into position, kind of, where was I exactly? You got to move them kind of to the analogous corner and maybe put it just inside the dark area there. So it's going to be the edges of what we're going to replace. All right. And for edit target, just click on edit target and check to make sure it's the name of your solid. It will be, but you know, it's worth looking at, you know, just to see where you adjust it. Sometimes there's more than one solid, and you have to, or more than one possible target layer. So you could pick them here. It's only one other layer, so not many options. And so we'll analyze forward and make sure it sticks on there. If it doesn't stick on there, you know, you can just you can go to motion trackers, click on tracker one and just delete it. That should work, or just start over again. And it seemed to work, so let's say apply. Okay, and so I think we just need to turn the eyeball back on, and if we play that, should stick on there, right? All right, so now let's let's put type on there. Now there's, you know, you could try also making a type layer and then tracking it to the footage too and do the same thing. It's not, but there's a much easier way to do it. It's pre-composing. Okay, pre-composing is sort of a standard thing in After Effects that we just haven't really done yet. But it's taking a bunch of elements and putting them into one thing that's a separate composition that's open in your composition. All right. So with your dark or whatever your solid layer is called, with that active, we'll go layer pre-compose, okay? And just leave all attributes. Sometimes this, hopefully yours says the same thing. It should be leave all attributes in LA and okay. And now this thing is a composition, okay? So let's double click on it to open it in its own window, right? So you can tab things in up here. So now we have two comps down here. One's called, mine's dark lime green, yours might have a slightly different, it'll be the name of some color. Okay, and here's LA down here. So there's two compositions, and up here we have a few things too. So what we want to do is put type inside this comp. So just get your type tool, and just type something very short because it's kind of a square sign. Got some really small type going on here. Okay, so the composition is long, right? I mean, it's as wide as the footage is, but it's going to get squished down to a box. This is not good typography that we're doing right here, but it's okay. So you want it to kind of semi-fill the sign. Something like that. And use big bold type. I'm using impact. All right, and then let's go back to our down here in the bottom where we see our two compositions. You should see, okay, and now if I play it. All right, so let's make it a little more realistic by adding some effects on it. You'll notice that the other illuminated things have a kind of soft edge, plus they're glowing a lot. So in your composition, I'm gonna, let's say I still have it open up here. No, I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna, oh, here it is, sorry. Tab down here, right? With the type layer active. See, it's like there's a whole other composition here. But the type layer active, let's go. What did I say I was going to do here? Let's go effect, blur and sharpen, and do fast box blur. Okay. And we can make a blur there. We don't want that much. Try like 2 or something to soften the edge a little bit. And then let's also do effect, stylize, glow. And let's see. I want a good radius, but I want the intensity. Whoa, I was doing the wrong thing. Fast box blur, that was what, 1 or something, 2? That was on the wrong effect. Glow is what I'm doing right now. So the intensity, all right, maybe lower it a little bit. Maybe not. Okay, something like that. And then down here in this area, I'm going back to LA comp. And let's go to probably could have a little more glow on there. Seems it's actually going a little funny. I guess it's fine. Anyway, it should improve somewhat there. So it looks pretty good, right? So let's go on and do another one. I'm going to go File, New Project. And let's get that wildebeest footage. File, import file, wildebeest. Okay. Let's see what we got here. It's a bunch of news or wildebeests. And we're going to track to this second little dude. Okay, and see, he turns his head and looks at us for a minute there. I guess he could be looking away. But, all right, so let's see. So let's put a piece of type over the top of him that we want. We want him to say, you know, whatever amusing thing you can think of. Are we there yet? Or something, okay. All right, down to our footage layer. And I'm going to what happened to my, it says I'm in motion tracking. Let me go in and out of it. Okay, there's my tracker palette. So track motion, right? I'm on wildebeest.move. I'm at frame 0. Track motion, okay? And let's put it right on that lead horn. And check the options here and put adapt feature on every frame, because he turns his head at that one point, so the thing that we're tracking changes a little bit, and turning this on will help it track. Okay, and check edit target, and that should be are we there yet, or whatever type you put in there, who farted or something. And yeah, let's analyze forward. Okay, so hopefully it's stuck on there, and then let's apply. All right. Now, it's possible if remember when we're tracking, we're actually we're not in the entire composition, we're in the footage alone. So if you lost your type, just make sure you're back in the original comp and not still in the footage that we're tracking. Okay, remember you can tab stuff in up here. It gets a little confusing sometimes. All right, so it worked, but the anchor point of the object, the type, is going to be right down where we tracked. You know, so like my type was centered, so the middle of the type is right on his horn where the tracker point was. If your type is flush left, it'll this point here will probably be there, but we'll fix it in either case. So go to the type layer, right, and hit A for anchor point. Okay, and let's move that, you know, just drag the numbers to where you are. I want it to be above him. You could, if I do the X number, I can do forward or backwards, right? Just to change the anchor point on that type layer. All right, so now let's make a line going from the type to him, you know, like a cartoon line denoting that he's the one talking. So we're going to draw a line with a pen tool. Remember, it's going to be a mask if you have a layer selected. So make sure no layer selected. Just click down on the blank stuff here and get the pen tool. And if there's a fill turned on already, okay, just click on the word fill and choose the red slash. And then for stroke, if the stroke is off, just hit the solid thing so it's on. That's off, that's on. These are gradients and stuff. And that's a 2 pixel line, that should be fine. Or that's what I have, but you can change the number there. And I'm just going to click from like here to here, something like that. and just hit my selection tool to stop drawing. All right, so now we could have pre-composed these two things, but I'll show you a different way to make multiple things work together. This time we'll parent it. All right, you may or may not have the parent and link column showing. Okay, if it's not showing, if I open these all up, it seems like it should. I thought I might have changed my version of After Effects a little bit, but remember these guys at the very bottom left of your screen open up collections of columns here. But just right click in an empty place, and columns, parents, and link is what we want. So we will parent so we go to shape layer 1, and where it says parent, it says none. Just pull down that and go to wildebeest. Oh, sorry, are we there yet? Okay, go to the text. You can also drag this Pickwick thing from the child to the parent object, but it's so simple here, we don't really have to do that. Let's see if it worked. Yes. Okay, pretty cool. All right. Next, we'll do a couple more.